The first time you hear a Beatles song is sort of like falling in love for the first time, or seeing your first rainbow, or seeing the ocean for the first time. It's a mind blowing event. Now, for a lot of people, they have a favorite Beatles song, but technically, what was the first Beatles song? Well, it wasn't really the Beatles that recorded; it was the Quarrymen, the preamble to the Beatles, which then consisted of John Lennon, Paul McCartney, George Harrison, pianist John Lowe, and drummer Colin Hatton. Now, this song is available on anthology. It's called "In Spite of All the Danger," sort of like a slow Buddy Holly style to it. McCartney wrote the song, and Harrison provided the guitar solo, and so the song is credited to McCartney-Harrison. Recording took place sometime between May and July '58 at Percy Phillips' home studio in their home region of Liverpool. Now, McCartney wrote the song on his own, likely around January '58 and possibly at Harrison's family home in Upton Green. The song uses a B7 chord, which McCartney discovered with Harrison after a multi-bus trip across Liverpool to the home of a stranger who knew the chord. Harrison wrote both of the song's guitar solos, and so McCartney gave him a joint credit in the Beatles anthology. McCartney describes it as a self-penned little song, very influenced by Elvis and, of course, a little bit by Buddy Holly. In an interview with Beatles historian Mark Lewishon, McCartney goes further and explains that the song is very similar to a specific Elvis song, though he avoids mentioning which particular one. Lewishon writes that though McCartney wrote the track on his own, it is heavily based on the melody of Elvis's "Trying to Get to You," which also includes a similar lyric, "In spite of all that I've been through." Now, musicologist Walter Everett agrees, writing that its cadence comes close. Chris Ingram says it's clearly inspired by it, and John C. Wynne says it was fashioned after it. Now, Everett writes most of the Beatles' early compositions were thoroughly diatonic, grounding solidly in major scale, and includes this song as an example. Again, they were just learning how to combine music and songwriting. The song is a key of E and follows a standard progression. Here, the harmonic development initially arises with the move on bar 5, "I'll Do Anything for You," to a subdominant or 4, a chord built on the 4th degree of the E major scale. Now, this dramatic placement of stop time at the end of the bridge, which is a Beatles trademark, was something that the Beatles saw regularly, including in "Come Go With Me" before they used it in spite of all the danger. They used the technique again in later compositions. "There's a Place in This Boy. This Boy." Now, around July '58, the Quarrymen paid for a recording session at Phillips' home in Kensington, Liverpool, recording a cover of Buddy Holly's "That'll Be the Day" and "In Spite of All the Danger." Lennon, McCartney, and Harrison all played guitar. Now, John Duff Lowe played the piano and Colin Hatton the drums. Recording was achieved with a single microphone suspended from the ceiling. No volume balancing possible. Curtains and carpets were put in the downstairs living room to dampen the noise of traffic from the street outside. At nearly 3.5 minutes, the song is much longer than most pop recordings of the time. Lewishon writes anecdotes at Percy Phillips waving his arms at them, hurrying them to a finish, because we see the discounting lathe reaching its ultimate point, almost at the center label, which would make it probably 340 or 350. Now, the recording was cut directly to a single two-sided shellac on metal 78 RPM disc. The disc likely cost the group $17,600. In a '77 interview, Phillips recalled that the group initially only paid 515 shillings, and someone returned a few days later with the remaining amount and to buy the record. The only earlier recording of the Quarrymen is a reel-to-reel tape recording made by an audience member on July 6, '57, during the Quarrymen's last set for the '57 Rose Queen Garden Fete at St. Peter's Church, Woolton, Liverpool. Now, with only one copy of the recording made, the group's members shared the disc for a week each. Lowe was the last to have it, keeping it for nearly 25 years. In '81, he prepared to sell it at auction, but McCartney intervened and purchased directly from him. McCartney had engineers restore as much of the record sound quality as possible, and they made approximately 50 copies of the single that he gave as personal gifts to family and friends. Now, soon after, in 2004, Record Collector magazine named the original pressing the most valuable record in existence, estimating its worth at £100,000, with the 81 copies made by McCartney coming in second on the list as £10,000 each. Now, in spite of all the danger, it was not released to the public until appeared on the Anthology 1 compilation in 95, along with That'll Be Today, though the former shortened to 242 from its original 325 runtime. Now, Louis Sean describes the song as a chugging, melodic, country-flavored number. He further writes that the record is not representative of their sound at the time other than this moment, which was a long way from the rough skiffle-scuffle of T-chest bass, washboard, and banjo that was in start. Now, its start. Ever calls the song Les Paul-like. Musicologist and writer E. MacDonald writes that the song is a dreary doo-wop pastiche, which has little to recommend it. I really think it's a good first effort, not really what I thought the Beatles would turn into, but McCartney was more romantic than anybody else in the band, besides George Harrison later on. Now, McCartney played the song throughout his 2004 summer and 2005 U.S. tours and would continue to perform it through his 2006-17 One-on-One, 2018-19 Freshen Up, and 2022 Got Back tours. A recording of McCartney's concert at the Cavern Club in 2008, which featured a performance of the song with his touring band, was broadcast on Christmas Day 2020 on BBC One. Now, the song's recording was faithfully reproduced by the Nowhere Boys in the 2009 biopic Nowhere Boy. The band also performed That'll Be Today, although it was cut from the film and is available as a deleted scene on the DVD and Blu-ray releases. These versions of the two songs, which are flawless remakes of the originals, can be heard on the film's soundtrack. Now, McCartney also performed the song at Glastonbury on 25 June 2022. Now, according to MacDonald, except where noted, Lennon played rhythm guitar and lead vocal, McCartney backing vocal and rhythm guitar, George Harrison lead guitar and backing vocal, John Duff Lowe on piano, and Colin Hatton on drums. So again, from a standpoint, it's a B effort. Nobody knew we were going to be Beatles like you were. It took them 5 or 6 years to really hone their playing style, especially the time in Hamburg. And Pete Best wasn't in the picture, neither was Ringo. So it was a long and winding road towards the Beatles of the early to mid 1960s. So if you like what we're doing here with our Beatles podcast, let us know with a like, comment, subscribe, or share. We also have Pete Shotton and Pete Best podcast on your channel. Let us know if there's any Beatles requests about history of some of their vintage releases before, during the Quarrymen years, or the Silver Beatles and everything else. Let me know with a like, comment, subscribe, or share. And don't forget, in relation to what's going on in the world, let it be. Give peace a chance. Bye.